Hey, what's happening, everybody? It's your old pal, Mr. Butter, coming back at you again. With so much heat about to drop, I really just want to go over what I'm looking forward to and talk about some things that have been catching my attention lately. If you're into kicks and you feel like hanging out, then hit that subscribe button. Let's talk about what's coming in the next week or two. Alright, so what is happening, everybody? We finally made it to the weekend, and like I said, there is so much heat about to drop. I did order a couple of pairs this week, but none of them have got here yet. I kind of want to keep that a secret. I like to keep you guessing on what reviews are coming. I don't usually do reviews if I don't have shoes in hand yet, but there is just so much going on that is sneaker related, either drops that are coming, drops that are kind of going on right now, such as the 85 breads. And I just wanted to chop it up with y'all, let you know my thoughts on some of the things that have been in the news, as well as cover some of the pairs that I'm really looking forward to the most. Before we get into all that, I am on a quest to get to 25,000 subs in the year 2025. So if you're watching this and you like sneaker content, hit that subscribe button. I try to make as much content as I can. I grab as many pairs as I can, and the more the merrier. So join us and come along for the ride. So I guess the first topic of discussion is still the 85 breads. I know people were going real crazy about them. For me, they're pretty much impossible to get, and I'm not going to lose any sleep over it. I've already showed y'all that I really like those reverse bread 85s that you can get at a really reasonable price right now. I'm also a big fan of those black toe Jordan 1 highs that are dropping the 15th, which is the day after the bread 85s are supposed to release. And even though the bread 85s have a release date of February 14th, a lot of the boutiques in the US have started doing their rollout of the pairs that they have allocated for those stores. Leading up to this drop, people have really been sharing how displeased they are with the fact that only 23 boutiques in the US were getting this shoe. And on top of that, most of the stock that they were getting was suspected to be backdoored, or else you basically had to have an in with somebody at the store to be able to reserve your pair. I did see where some stores in Chicago were treating their loyal customers, and basically they were picking people up in a Rolls Royce and then driving them to the store. I think it was Success. I think that's what store it was. But anyhow, they were really showing love to their loyal customers, and I love to see that. I think that's the way that it should be. I wish that there was an opportunity for me to partake in something like that, but I don't really live around any cool boutiques or anything. I'm lucky to have a Finish Line here nearby. While that seemed like a pretty fair way of doing it, I kept hearing that this morning, which is Friday, the day that I'm recording this, at some of the Alma Maniere sites, it sounded like it was just an absolute mess. One story that I heard was that people were camping out and waiting in line for days, and that Alma Maniere just handed out tickets, and instead of letting it be first come first serve, they handed out tickets or else wristbands or something, and then they put all the numbers into a bag, and they basically just shook up the bag and they would draw one number at a time. If your number got called, you were able to go into the store and make a purchase. It sounded like there was only like 40 people at that location that were able to get them. I forget if that was in Atlanta or if that was in Texas. And another store that I heard of, people were talking about, they had been lined up since like Wednesday, so they camped out there for a couple of nights, and apparently Alma Maniere made it known that they didn't want any campouts, they didn't want anybody standing in line waiting. And I heard that they actually went to the back of the line first and gave the back of the line the first priority to buy their shoes. I don't know if that's true. If anybody watching this has been there and actually saw that firsthand, then let me know. I think that's wild. If they actually started at the back of the line, and meanwhile you have people at the front of the line that have been there for 3 days, man, that is just asking for a fight if you're asking me. However they did it, I don't think there were that many pairs. And whenever they did the math, it sounded like each store in the US that was getting pairs of this 85 high was going to get an equal amount. Some people were saying it should have been between 350 and 400 pairs. Whenever they had the sales on site at their store, they only had around 35 or 40 pairs. So like 10% of what they actually got allocated, it sounds like, is what they had available to actually buy there on location at the store. To me, it sounds like about 90% of that stock all did get backdoored, or else people hooked up people that they know. And I know that I've been seeing YouTubers and people from Instagram and stuff saying that they have full-size runs and they're trying to sell them for like $850 or $900. I have been saying all along, I would not be paying that high of a price right now. I think that prices will continue to drop. They've already dropped from around $1,000 in my size down to about $500 in my size. Whenever they have the full official release of these, a couple days after that, when people start getting their pairs, you'll see prices dip even more, because people will be competing to have the lowest price so that they're able to offload their pairs faster than anybody else. I don't ever expect these to drop down to retail prices or go below retail prices, but I've said all along I'll be watching for them to drop under $400, and then I'll seriously consider pulling that trigger. It's a shoe I definitely want. I think the shoe is awesome, and I think that the detail that Nike put into this to make it as close to the original as they possibly can, I definitely want it. They have definitely got me hyped up for this pair, but not to the point where I'm going to spend $1,000 for them, and not to the point where I would consider lining up and camping out for a couple of days for them. So I'm sure we'll continue to see that madness kind of unfold, but honestly, I've kind of enjoyed just sitting back and watching it all, because like I said, I do really like that pair. But I have pairs that look really similar, and it's not going to make me lose any sleep, and it's not really going to upset me if I don't get my pair. I'm not planning on getting a pair for retail. I just plan on playing the waiting game as it is, and if they drop to a price that I can afford, then I'll grab them. But moving on from that madness, tomorrow, February 8th, we are going to see the black metallic Jordan 5s drop. I'm pumped. I got my pair secured at my local Finish Line for in-store pickup. I plan on making my way to the store pretty early, and I'll probably do like a little pickup vlog and then have a full review of them Sunday morning if all goes according to plan. But I am really pumped for that pair to drop. I've never owned that pair, but I think they look really good. I have been really surprised. I put up a poll asking people what Jordans they were most looking forward to, and the black metallic 5s won by a really good amount over top of the bread 85s, over top of the black toes, and over top of those Lucky Shorts 3s that are upcoming. Those are all pairs that I want. I already have the black toes. I don't know if I'll double up on them, but I might. And I'm glad that I have the black metallic 5s already secured at my local store. I do not think I will be able to get the 85 breads, but I will be chasing those Lucky Shorts 3s because I think they look really clean too. I was thinking that those 5s were the only thing dropping tomorrow, but I guess on sneakers, they're also dropping a Kobe 9, one of the tall pairs, what do they call them, the Elite or something like that. Those don't really have my attention. If I was still playing ball, then maybe I would be going after them, but I don't really have any use for them at all, so I won't even try for those. With that being said, next week we're going to see those Kobe 6 All-Star pairs release. It's a white pair. It looks just like all other Kobe 6s, but for the overlays, instead of just kind of having like snake scales or something on it, it's actually stars, and it looks like it's an off-white color. I think those look phenomenal. I will definitely go for those on all the accounts that I have. I haven't got a retail W on an adult pair of Kobe 6s since the last time they dropped the Del Sols, and that was probably 3 or 4 years ago now. I forget what year they dropped, but that was the last time I got a pair of Kobe 6s in my size for retail. So I'm about due for a W. I would really love to get that all-star pair. But then next weekend, we will see the Black Toes drop. Like I said, I already have those. I highly recommend that pair to anyone. It's an OG colorway. It's almost like a sample pair because it has the Air Jordan on the side instead of the Wings logo. But I might grab another pair of them. I really like those. I think they did those well. And then the last upcoming drop that really comes to mind, it's probably like the second most hyped up drop that people have been talking about right now, but that is the Galaxy Foamposites. I have never been super big into Foamposites. I really did like Penny Hardaway. I remember whenever he was a rookie and whenever he and Shaq teamed up, and I really just enjoyed watching Penny Hardaway. But as far as the Foamposite silhouettes go, I was never really a huge fan. I've actually never owned a pair of Foamposites, but a good buddy of mine is a really, really big fan of Foamposites. He still has the original pair of the Galaxy Foamposites, and he's got all kinds of really, really sought after colorways. I've actually been discussing buying a pack off of him, and I think I might just grab it just because I would like to have a pair of Foamposites in my collection. I will go for the Galaxies, but I told him I would go for them in his size just because, like I said, they don't really have nostalgia for me. I've never owned them, so I don't have any real deep connection to them. It's not like I'd play ball in them. The colorway doesn't look like something I would wear a whole bunch or anything, but he still has the Shooting Stars pack. I think they came out in 2014, but I think there's like a Penny Hardaway. It was pretty much like a PE that he wore for an all-star game. It's a white pair. It has those, the Foamposites, and then it's got another pair. I forget if they were called the Little Pennies or what they officially called them, but it's a black pair, and then it has like the blue jewel on the back of them. And I might buy that pack off of them because they're dead stock, and if we can come to an agreement or a trade or something, then watch out for that, because I'd probably do a review on that just because it's such a cool pack. But like I said, I'll go for the Galaxies, but I'm going to go for them in his size. I don't think they're going to be easy to get at all. I'm assuming I will strike out on those, but I think that is one of the coolest pairs of Foamposites I've ever seen. And I know for people like him that really have a big history with Foamposites and that have been a big fan of Foamposites for a long time, I think the Galaxies are one of those grail pairs that OGs will be really going after. So I know that's not all the pairs that are upcoming, but right offhand, that's all that comes to mind. I am going to be grabbing as much as I can, and I'm going to be making as much content as I can. I wish you all good luck. Let me know if you all are going for those black metallic 5s tomorrow. Like I said, my pair is secured. I actually got EA for shipped to me through Finish Line and JD as well, but I just passed on that because I don't need more than one pair of those, but I'm definitely pumped to have my pair secured. After grabbing those black metallic 5s, I think the next most sought after pair I'll be going for is the All-Star Kobe 6s. Let me know what has your attention. Let me know what you're excited about. Let me know what you think of all the 85 bread madness that's going on right now. I hope you all have a wonderful weekend. I appreciate you all watching tremendously, and I will catch y'all on the next one. I'm out.